Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the boy Arts here, and I'm here today breaking down my Pokemon World Domination Draft League draft. If you aren't sure what a Pokemon Draft League, if you aren't sure what the Pokemon Draft League battle format is, it's similar to what like the NBA is and the NFL is, but it pertains to Pokemon. So, it's a draft lottery format where the coaches is us, the players, us being the players. We each have draft picks, and depending on how many Pokemon the draft is allowing, you draft according to the round. So, for example, if someone has first pick, they pick Dragon Ball first, which probably was the case. Then Dragon Ball is off the board, so he'll be no longer up for draft for any of the other teams. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar how draft league and lottery drafts work. But in my case, my draft was very interesting because I actually entered this draft league extremely late. The way I got into it was because um there was a guy that originally was in the draft, but then he pulled out. So what they did was they just gave me this person's team, which was already in the process of being drafted. So the first 7 picks of this team was not picked by me. I started picking from the 7th round. No, matter of fact, I started picking from round 8. The first 7 Pokemon on the team was already picked. And I started picking from round 8. So once we hit that, I'll let you guys know what was from when I started picking, because I don't know what homeboy was smoking when he was drafting these first 7 months. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to love and cherish and kick ass for every single last one of these Pokemon. But if it was me drafting, I probably would have, if the Pokemon were available later on in the draft, I probably would have picked some of these Mons at different points in the draft if they was available. But some of these Pokemon in the round they was drafted, that it wasn't it, bro. That wasn't it. So I don't know what he was smoking, but it must have been some good shit, cause homeboy was tripping. But without further ado, okay, so I'm sorry for just rambling, but okay, so I'm gonna go through my team. I'm gonna break down my draft, and then after we go through my draft, I'm gonna quickly take a look at the rest of the league, and we could see how the rest of the league is looking together, and I'll give my opinion on which team I think is possibly the strongest based off of the draft alone. But I'm telling you, like, our draft may not be as strong as the others, but we coming with that pain, bro. I tell you that right now. We not playing no games. All right, so our first pick was Sylveon. Now, this is a perfect example of how this is a mon that me personally I potentially would have picked, but not as a first pick, especially in the position homeboy was in. Homeboy was like he was like 7th or 8th, I believe. He was like mid dead center of the draft. So there was still a lot of good mons available. A very powerful mon that was available was me. If I was in his position and this mon was available, I definitely would have picked it first. Gyarados. Gyarados was available, but homeboy chose Sylveon. Now Sylveon, don't get me wrong, is a fantastic Pokemon. I just don't know if it's round 1 draft pick worthy. If I was in a position and Sylveon was available, I'd probably pick Sylveon maybe 3rd or 4th, in the 3rd or 4th round, not 1st round. But looking at Sylveon stats, you can see it's a decent Pokemon. Not decent, it's a really good Pokemon actually. 95 on the hit points, got 110 special attack, 130 special defense. So you can see that this is a special defense tank that totals out damage on the special side as well. Yeah, really good Pokemon. That Pixelate ability is amazing paired with Hyper Voice. This Pokemon, especially now that it gets Mystical Fire now, which helps it combat Steel types even better. So Ferrothorn gets blown away by this thing. Yeah, so like I said, really good Pokemon. Just don't know if it's 1st round pick material, but it's good. I'm not mad at all. We're gonna find ways to make this thing work, because Sylveon, if Sylveon gets to do what it wants to do, Sylveon could be really, really devastating, especially as a late game sweeper too. All right, our next pick, our second pick was Obstagoon. Obstagoon, another pretty solid Pokemon. Just like I said, the theme of this team is because of how early I think how bad, I don't want to say bad because then it makes it seem like the Pokemon are bad. Obstagoon and Sylveon aren't bad Pokemon. I just don't know if they're all right. Let's look at it in NBA. Let's look at an NBA, right? Let's say you could have any player in the world, right? LeBron, Giannis, Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, like just the best players in the world, Kawhi Leonard, and you have an early round pick, would you really choose someone like Brandon Ingram? Brandon Ingram is turning into a fantastic player, but I mean, you're gonna choose a whole bunch of people before you choose Brandon. I think a lot of these Pokemon are like the Brandon Ingram. You get what I'm saying? Like, they was chosen so high when you had other options that were better. But okay. But Obstagoon, I'm sorry, I'm really excited to kill these Pokemon, but trust me, I love these Pokemon. I promise you I'm gonna kick ass with them. I'm gonna make this thing work. Alright. Obstagoon, looking at his stats, he got 93 on the hit points, which is really, really decent. 90 on the attack, 101 on the defense, 81 on the special defense, and 95 on the speed. So like I said, it's a balanced Pokemon all around. The defense, the special attack is really low, but who cares? This thing's an attacker anyway. Especially when you have things like Defiant, Guts, and Reckless. Jesus Christ, this thing is going to hit like a truck. So yeah, another solid Pokemon, and is one of the only Pokemon that gets access to knockoff right now. So that's going to be huge. So I'm very excited about this Pokemon. As you can see, my dude that got the bad boy shiny as well. So yeah, we chilling out here. So I'm very happy to have Obstagoon. Obstagoon is also a Pokemon that I've never used in battle before. Never. So I'm excited to see how I do with him. Okay, this is gonna lead into another Pokemon that I've never used in battle before, which is our third pick, SQ. Now, SQ, we know that this thing is very niche, but in its niche, if you allow this thing to get going, this thing could be hella devastating. So obviously with the Ice Face, it has 75 on the HP, 80 attack, 110 defense, special attack, we don't care about that stat, special defense 90, and speed 50. But then once you break it down and it gets to the no Ice Face, the no Ice Face, then that's when this thing becomes extremely threatening. If you get this thing setting up with a belly drum. So we got 130 speed. That is one of the fastest speed tiers in the game. So that, yeah, SQ, the thing is, like, it's so niche. I'm gonna try to find ways to bring it in, but because Ice Cube is a Pokemon that could go from carrying a game and steamrolling through someone, or it could also just be a situation where it falls on his face flat, and you know what, that Ice Face flat, I swear I didn't do that on purpose. But yeah, it could be a situation where it becomes an epic fail. So you got to play this thing right, but when you do play it right, is a sweeper. It's tearing holes through everything on the team. All right, so I'm happy with that pick. I'm happy with Ice Face. The fourth pick will probably be the MVP of the team because just how goddamn versatile this mon is. Rotom Mow. I got the Mow version, the Grass Electric. Now Rotom Mow, I was happy to get it. Grass type, electric type, good. 2 types that I think grass and electric are really good this gen. Electric send up the electric terrain and the grass send up the grassy terrain, as well as both of those typings hitting so many different things hard in this game. Rotom itself, like, is just such a well mon. We got 50 on the HP, that's low, but then the defenses run out to 107 and 107 apiece. Then we got the 86 speed and the 105 special attack. So Rotom, you know, you could do plenty of different things with Rotom. You could run it defensively or offensively, and both work really well on this Pokemon. So I was very excited to see that homeboy did draft a Rotom. Number 5 on the pick is a team mascot. So as you see, the homeboy shiny as well. Once I saw he was the team mascot, once I made him the team mascot, I was like, alright, homeboy has to be shiny. And it's yet another 8th gen Pokemon that I've never used in battle before. So that's one thing I'm excited about. I think that's the biggest thing I'm excited with this team, is that I've yet to use so many of these Pokemon on the team. More so the 8th gen ones. The Monster previous gen, like, I've been battling for years, so I've used them, but I think every 8th gen mon on this team I've never used in battle before. Yeah, looking at it, I don't think I have. So we got 58 on the HP, 145 defense, and 105 special defense. So they had, you may look at that HP stat and say, ew, 58, that's trash. It is, but you want to tell you something? If the HP on this thing was like 70, 75, this thing would be unkillable. That's how bulky it is on the defense. And if you would have had 75 to go along with the 145 defense and the 105 special defense, this thing would be unkillable. So this thing, and is a Trick Room setter. And I don't know if you noticed the theme, like the reoccurring pattern on my team. and homeboy was drafting, he didn't draft anything speedy at all. Sylveon, low base speed. Obstagoon, 95, that's decent, but there's plenty of things that outspeed that as well. Rotom, 86, not that fast. SQ is base 50 with the face on. Without the face, that's when it becomes devastatingly fast, but with the face on, it's slow as hell. So RUNERIGUS might be actually really clutch in a lot of situations, especially if I'm able to get off the Trick Room with it. So yeah, we see, like I said, team mascot, I got plans for this thing. I'm very excited. All right, we got next was drafted was Gigalith. So yet again, another slow mon. You see only 25 on that speed, but this thing is yet another tank. 85 hit points, 135 on the attack, 130 on the defense, and 80 on the special defense. So this thing is taking hits for days, and it hits harder than a Garchomp, I believe. I believe Garchomp's attack is 130. So if you just put that into perspective, Gigalith hits harder than Garchomp. So that's crazy. That's insane. So one thing, I'm looking at my team. Okay. So is this next pick coupled? So Gigalith, yes, we see that is weak to water. I think Gigalith being the rock type, it does have weaknesses, but we're good. But kind of made me discouraged. Not really discouraged, but I like it was an eye opener. Is that our very next pick after Gigalith was Dual Blade. Dual Blade, another very solid Pokemon. You got the 150 on defense, 110 on the attack. So if you start setting this thing up with Swords Dance, it could become a scary sweeper very fast. But one thing that was eye-opening was Doublade and Gigalith being picked back-to-back. So that's double the ground weakness. Like, we just doubled up on the ground weakness right away. Looking at the team. Yeah, so that was it. Okay, I see what it is. Okay, so there was a ground weakness that I saw, as well as a water weakness. Gigalith weak to water. RUNERIGUS weak to water. So I was like, alright, we don't even have a water type yet, so let's add a water type. Now this, okay, so Doublade was the last mon that was chosen by the guy that I replaced. So after I looked and I was like, this team is lacking some things. Definitely lacked the dragon type, definitely lacked the water type, definitely lacked the fire type, definitely lacked the fighting type. So my mindset going into the draft, when I seen what was given to me already, Dragon was, I started looking for a dragon first, but the available dragons, I think the best available dragon was Drampa, and I was like, if that is the best, if I really need a dragon later on in the series, maybe I could just do it through free agency or proc the trade, but nah, I just wasn't too comfortable choosing Drampa, especially looking at the rest of the team, and I'm like, not Drampa. We had fighting weaknesses already with Ice Cube and the Gigalith and Obstagoon, who gets obliterated by fighting. God damn. But yeah, I didn't want to keep adding fighting weaknesses because Drampa, you know, is the dragon normal. So I was looking like, let me add a flying type, as a matter of fact, and let me add a water type as well. So what better Pokemon? When I seen this Pokemon was still on board, I was happy as hell. I tell you that right now. And as a matter of fact, I was shocked that it wasn't taken. My pick. So this was the first pick that I actually made for the team, it being Mantine. Now Mantine is a very strong Pokemon. 85 on that hit points and 140 on that special defense. This thing is a special defense monster. Probably the best special defense, oh my gosh, I'm tongue twisted. I need some water. The best specially defensive mon in Sword and Shield right now. Now it does get obliterated by the electric, but you know what? If you couple that and bring Rotom eats electric hits for days because it quad resisted. So I mean, Mantine, when I seen Mantine was available, I needed a water type. Flying type would have been great as well because of the fighting weaknesses I did have. It was a no-brainer. Like I said, I was shocked that it was still available on board. This mon could do so many different things. And it's 70 on that speed, so that's not bad as well. So you know what? If there's ever... Sorry, that's my laptop in the background. Especially, you know what? With max Airstream, if there's ever a situation where we need to Dynamax Mantine, we start hitting a few max Airstreams, the speed would be... This thing might actually become very speedy. So, you know what? Like I said, I was shocked that this thing made it to round 8. Actually shocked. But shit, it worked out for me. I ain't complaining. I'm happy. All right, with the 9th pick. So like I said, I didn't have any fighting types. Nor do I have very fast mons. So I was just looking through different. Now there were faster mons than this, but I mean, they was faster, but they wasn't as good. So I ended up going with Pissimian. This is another mon that I was actually shocked was still available as a fighting type, because I seen some fighting types that were chosen, and I was like, but you guys left Pissimian on the board. You guys are wild. Actually, when I chose this thing, one of the heads of the league, he didn't realize Pissimian was still on the board himself. He was like, damn, if I would have known, I would have chose Pissimian. I'm like, yeah, you should have. But yeah, so Pissimian, a very strong mon. 100 HP on a mon that's supposed to be offensive. That's really good. So 100 on the HP, 120 on that attack, 80 on the speed. So like I said, he's not the fastest mon, but compared to a lot of things on my team, as a matter of fact, he is the fastest thing on my team. He is the fastest. No, it's Obstagoon. Obstagoon, and then the close is Pissimian, because like I said, Ice Cube only becomes the fastest once his ability, no ice procs. But I mean, yeah. So this thing is the fastest thing on my team, actually, second fastest. Okay. So I mean, Pissimian, you could run a choice Scarf variant, which is really strong. Choice Band makes this thing hit like a truck. Life Orb makes this thing hit out of the truck. So this thing is very versatile. So I was extremely, so like I said, when I came into the draft and I seen Mantine and Pissimian still left on the board, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. All right, so last but not least, so clearly we're still missing a fire type. And the best fire type, and this is yet another mon that I was shocked was still on the board, because there's some things that scare. I know why it was probably still left on the board and people were scared to choose it, but this thing is actually really, really strong. My last pick being Colossal. Now that 30 speed doesn't help. It's extremely slow, and is rock fire, meaning that it's quad weak to ground and quad weak to water. But you know what? It is what it is. If you keep this thing out of harm's way when it comes to those things, Colossal is a freaking monster. Look at its stats: HP 110, attack 80, defense 120, special attack 80, special defense 90. So that HP coupled with that 120 defense and 90 special defense, this thing could take hits. Now, like I said, it's not going to take any water or ground hits, but from just about anything else, this thing is actually taking hits. The 80, the 80 on the attack and special attack means that you can run this thing either physically or specially. Now, it may not be the highest offensive stats in the world, but you know what? It gives it versatility, and plus it has things in its kit that allows it to raise those up a little bit. So like I said, I was very happy when I seen, like, a lot of course there are better fire types and they were taken, but when I seen that Colossal was available in the last round of the draft and I needed a fire type, couldn't go wrong with choosing him. I'm happy he's on the team. If I had to choose a favorite mon on the team, it'll probably be Colossal. It's between Colossal or Obstagoon. I mean, RUNERIGUS is really cool too, but I mean, all these mons, I love all these mons, but like if it was do or die, what's your favorite mon in this team? It'll probably be either Colossal or Obstagoon, especially Obstagoon shiny. So yeah, that's my draft. Like I said, there's a lot of things. There's a lot. Like I said, if I was here from the beginning, it probably would have been a whole nother direction I went with the team. But when I came through and started drafting from round 8, I think I rounded out the team pretty well and made it a little bit more respectable than it really was. Now, like I said, the mons that was drafted beforehand, they're good mons, but I think there were better choices at the time. But you know what? I'm happy with the team I have, and I'm very excited to get to work with this team. I'm gonna be happy. My goal, of course, is to win the whole damn thing. But if worse comes to worse and this team just can't live up, or I'm just that bad of a coach and prep and all that nonsense, if we go 5-5, I'll be okay with it. But I at least want to go 6-4. And if we go under, like if we have a minus win percentage, I'm gonna be pissed. But if we go 5-5, if we go 5-5, I'm happy. 6-4, elated. That's all I'm asking for. But you know what? At the end of the day, like I said, we coming to win this damn thing. So that's what we gonna do. All right. Oh yeah, and the cool thing about this league is a lot of draft leagues that I followed in the past, this is the first draft league I've ever been in, so I'm very excited about that. But I've followed and watched other content creators participate in draft leagues, and for the most part, they're one battle of week. That there's one opponent a week. Let me say that still follows this draft league. Still follows that format. But one thing that I found unique to this one, because I've never seen it before, so it's unique to me. Like the first time I've seen it. You have an opponent, but you doing a best 2 out of 3. So most of the time, draft leagues is just one off. You battle them once. If you get your ass kicked, oh well, you should have prepped better. But this, I think, best 2 out of 3 allows you to make in-game adjustments mid-match. So I actually like that, and I think it's really cool that they allowed this to happen that way, and that was the route they decided to go. The league right now is set to 10. The regular season is set to 10 games, so everyone will not be facing each other because it's 16 teams. So I mean, it's gonna span about 2.5 months. So we gonna be here for a while. We gonna be here for the ride. And like I said, we coming to get that chip, bro. We coming to get that trophy. But before, all right, so that's my team. Let me know. Give me thoughts. Give me some feedback of what y'all think about my team. Like I said, this is an interesting team. So, and I got some plan. Boy, do I got some plan. I'm telling you, week 1, we starting off with a bang. Because my week 1 opponent is a bad matchup for me. But I'm going to try to use that to my advantage, believe it or not. So, yeah, we about to get this thing rolling. So, that's my team. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Just keep watching our journey. Just keep watching. You're gonna see us climb. I promise you. We gonna have some good battles.